Imagine this. You're watching live on national TV as the Speaker of the House launches a brutal personal attack on a freshman congresswoman's entire career. But instead of crumbling, she fires back with a 30-second masterclass that leaves the entire chamber speechless. What if I told you this moment didn't just go viral? It exposed the cracks in our political system and redefined what true power looks like in Congress. Stick around, because in the next 20 minutes, we're diving deep into Jasmine Crockett's epic takedown of Mike Johnson. You won't believe how one response changed everything. Let's break it down. First up, the full breakdown of that viral speech. But before we get there, ask yourself, have you ever seen a political underdog turn the tables so fast it makes history? That's exactly what happened here. It all went down on the House floor during a heated debate on judiciary nominations. Speaker Mike Johnson, the Louisiana Republican and self-proclaimed constitutional expert, was presiding. Tension was already high. Nominations were flying, accusations of partisanship in the air. Then, out of nowhere, Johnson veers off script and goes personal. But wait, what exactly did he say that sparked this firestorm? And how did Crockett, a relative newcomer, prepare for a moment like this? Keep listening, because her backstory is the key to understanding why her response hit so hard. Johnson steps to the podium and unleashes, "I've reviewed the gentlewoman's record both in Congress and before, and I must say I find it troubling that someone whose legal career consisted primarily of defending criminals in Texas courtrooms now presumes to lecture this body on constitutional interpretation. The American people deserve representatives who understand the gravity of their office and the constitutional principles that govern it, not social media personalities seeking viral moments through divisive rhetoric." Gasps echo through the chamber. This wasn't just a policy jab. It was a direct assault on Crockett's credibility, her past as a civil rights attorney and public defender. He painted her as unqualified, more influencer than legislator. The room falls silent. All eyes on Crockett. She doesn't flinch. Rising calmly, she requests 1 minute to respond. The speaker grants it, probably thinking he'd already won. But Crockett promises, "I'll show in the next 30 seconds who truly understands the Constitution." And deliver she does. Here's the word for word of her powerhouse response. "Mr. Speaker, you questioned my understanding of the Constitution. But as someone who has actually litigated and won constitutional cases in federal courts on behalf of Americans whose rights were being denied, I must ask, how many constitutional cases have you personally litigated and won in federal court? There's a profound difference between citing the Constitution and actually defending it in courtrooms on behalf of Americans whose rights are being denied. While you've used the Constitution as a rhetorical device to advance a political agenda, I've used it as a shield to protect voting rights, due process, and equal protection for citizens who were being denied their constitutional birthright. My understanding of our founding document comes not from selective citation, but from standing beside Americans whose constitutional rights were being actively violated." Boom. In under 30 seconds, she flips the script. Johnson? Stunned silent. Democrats erupt in applause. The moment goes viral instantly. 30 million views in hours. Jacker constitutional clapback trending worldwide. But was this just a clever comeback? Or did it dismantle Johnson's entire argument? Coming up, how Crockett exposed his flawed constitutional logic, and you might be surprised by the Supreme Court twist. Now, let's zero in on how Crockett exposed Mike Johnson's flawed constitutional logic. Ever wonder if the people preaching about the Constitution actually practice what they preach? This part will make you question everything. Johnson's attack hinged on his own credentials. A former constitutional attorney for the Alliance Defending Freedom, where he fought cases on religious liberty and traditional values. He positioned himself as the guardian of constitutional purity, implying Crockett's defense work made her soft on law or unqualified. But Crockett didn't just defend herself. She dissected his logic with surgical precision. Hold on. What if Johnson's own legal record had holes? What's in his constitutional closet did Crockett drag into the light? Stay tuned, because this revelation is a game changer. In her response, she highlighted the gap. Johnson cited the Constitution in arguments, but how many federal wins did he have? Turns out several of his key theories, like those on same-sex marriage, were unanimously rejected by the Supreme Court. Crockett pointed this out subtly but lethally. His constitutional expertise was more theory than triumph, often advancing a specific agenda rather than broad rights protection. Contrast that with Crockett's record. As a civil rights lawyer, she won cases exonerating wrongfully convicted individuals, securing voting rights, and tackling police misconduct. She defended the Constitution in real courtrooms, for real people, not just in speeches. By asking about his litigation wins, she exposed the hypocrisy. True constitutional defense isn't about position or rhetoric, it's about action and results. This wasn't ad hominem, it was a logical takedown. Johnson's attack assumed authority from title alone, but Crockett proved knowledge trumps hierarchy. Analysts later called it a flawed logic exposé. He attacked her career without realizing hers embodied the very principles he claimed to uphold. The chamber erupted, but what happened next behind closed doors? Up next, the behind-the-scenes impact on Congress that no one saw coming. Moving on to the behind-the-scenes impact, you saw the viral clip, but what ripples did this send through the halls of Congress? Imagine the whispers, the strategy shifts. This moment reshaped alliances overnight. Immediately after, the House adjourned in stunned silence. Democrats rallied around Crockett, with leaders like Hakeem Jeffries praising her as a rising star. Republicans divided. Some privately admitted Johnson's jab was a misstep, crossing into personal territory and breaching decorum. But here's the juicy part. Did this lead to actual policy changes, or just more drama? And what about Johnson's gavel? Did he really yield it in future debates? The answers might shock you. Sources say Johnson's approval ratings dipped 8 points among independents, per post-event polls. He faced internal GOP pushback, with moderates worried it made them look arrogant. Crockett, meanwhile, saw her fundraising skyrocket, $2 million in 48 hours from small donors inspired by her stand. Longer term, it influenced debates. Johnson became more cautious, even yielding the gavel during heated sessions to avoid bias accusations. Crockett gained committee influence, her voice carrying more weight on judicial matters. It sparked a broader conversation on decorum, leading to informal talks on House rules for personal attacks. Experts weighed in heavy. But what did they really say? Coming up, commentary from political analysts and law professors that puts this in historical context. Time for expert commentary. What do the pros think? If you've ever doubted a single moment can shift history, these insights will change your mind. CNN's Van Jones called it a constitutional mic drop, saying Crockett turned defense into offense, reminding us expertise isn't inherited, it's earned. Fox News' Brit Hume admitted Johnson overreached. Her response was sharp and substantive. But wait, law professors went deeper. What historical parallels did they draw? And does this echo icons like Barbara Jordan? Keep going. The comparisons are fascinating. Harvard Law's Lawrence Tribe praised Crockett's masterful distinction between rhetoric and real defense, noting it echoed Thurgood Marshall's courtroom legacy. Yale's Akil Amar highlighted the irony. Johnson's ADF work was advocacy, but Crockett's was justice delivery. She exposed the selective constitutionalism plaguing politics. Overall, experts agreed. This was iconic, akin to AOC's early clapbacks, but with deeper legal heft, signaling a shift toward merit over might. So why did this change perceptions of authority? Final thoughts next. Finally, why this moment changed perceptions of authority? In a world where position equals power, Crockett proved otherwise, but how? It shattered the myth that seniority or title grants wisdom. Her response showed authority stems from knowledge, preparation, and principle. Viewers saw a freshman command respect through facts, not fury. It inspired young leaders. Real power? It's in the truth you wield. Politically, it highlighted divides, institutional arrogance versus grassroots grit. Millions now question, who really defends the Constitution? What do you think? Was this the clapback of the decade? Drop your thoughts below, like if you're Team Crockett, subscribe for more breakdowns, and hit notifications so you never miss a viral moment. Thanks for watching. Remember, in politics, knowledge is the ultimate weapon. See you next time.